Hey everyone, I'm Black Marvin, a progressive psychedelic trance artist, and I'm also an electronic music teacher. Today, it's time for part 2 of the Microfreak video. We are making minimal techno with the Microfreak and the analog style wavetables. This is part 2, so if you haven't viewed part 1, I suggest you do it so you'll view this video in context. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so if you don't want to miss part 3, more Microfreak content, or just content about being a better sound designer and new plugins and a lot of fun stuff. In this video, I'm using the Microfreak bar Arteria to generate everything that is synthesized. So bassline, synth, leads, plucks, effects, pads, etc. There's some drums that have been sequenced in part 1. And I'm using the Prophecy analog style wavetables for Microfreak. This is what I'm feeding the Microfreak and I'm using to get these nice results. The link is in the description. Also, you'll see that in this video, I kept it a bit, it's a bit longer than my usual videos. And usually I try to edit very short, but in this video, I really keep most of the creative process. So sometimes you'll see I'm trying to come up with some stuff and in the end I end up using something, but sometimes I leave it there so you can see also the creative process, not just the end result. And if you want to see the end result, you can use the index and skip to the parts you want to watch. And without further ado, let's dive and make some minimal techno. So we are inside our track. This is what we built last time. We have a kick. There's a clap. There's just a closed hi-hat loop. Very simple for the moment because, and you know, for this track, I really want to focus on laying down some elements with the Microfreak. There's a rolling hi-hat loop. There's a bass line. And there's a nice pad. And all together, it sounds like this. So we have something going on so far, but now what we need is we're gonna add a bit of like rhythm and something a bit more imposing with some techno stabs. Usually a square wave for that will sound very good. So I'm gonna go and grab a square wave. So I already have a preset here for a techno stab, and what is really cool is that I built this one with another set of the analog style wavetables. I built this one with the hex set, which is another set of wavetables, but since it's always, you know, the first 5 wavetables are always saw, and then it's square, and then it's various, like even though I changed the set, I still, you know, it still makes sense because the wavetable in that position is another square. So far that's the stab we have. And yeah, square wave sounds good for techno stab. And if I play it lower, not sure. We'll see. And let's just try with all the different squares. So I'm gonna record this one. Now I have my stab here and I can sequence it. Sounds great. Now I'm gonna EQ it and just do a bit of usual processing that I do on this kind of sound. And I want, I'm gonna get the Convolver. I'm gonna get maybe spring reverb vibe to this. Kenny, is it possible? Get a nice spring reverb vibe to that. Gonna go in the Eternia and vintage reverbs. Okay, so that's awesome. That vibe is awesome, but I'm gonna put an envelope to it, so it's gonna be ADSR. So I don't want it to stay too long. And I'm just gonna put some reverb after that, so it just blends a bit more. And also I'm gonna apply a duck here, just so it's sort of like goes through the signal. And then I'm gonna post EQ it. So that's the vibe we have so far. Now it's just adding a bit more stomp onto the beat and vibe. In my opinion, I like these kind of sounds. And now we're gonna add arpeggiator. That's gonna, and this one is gonna be a bit more complex because we might have to plan in advance. It's gonna play for a while, so we'll see, but first we'll start by sequencing it. And just, you know, we're gonna make sure that this is placed correctly throughout the track. Now let's sequence the arpeggiator. Gonna get a new preset. And, you know, let's just find a wavetable that sounds nice for a plucky arpeggiator. Maybe this one. And now the sequencing is gonna go pretty much here.
Yes and no. Let's try other stuff. I think I'm gonna sequence it myself. Just like simple melody, but trancey and catchy. And maybe if we like double it. Yeah, possibly. Let's see in context. Not really. Yeah, I think in context is gonna help. right, so there's some vibe in there. That's really cool. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save that preset for sure. And because I'm gonna save that preset because I'm gonna record that sequence, and I'm gonna record like a progression into the cutoff opening more. But I'm gonna have the preset and I'm gonna have the MIDI. So sometimes if I want to like re-record it, I can just go slap in the MIDI and go back to the preset I had and re-record it for, you know, to maybe expand it later in the track. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna save that preset and I'm gonna record that right now. So I was kind of lazy, so that preset is called Plit. I have the Plit plug in the track. It sounds like this, and I'm gonna start to lay down some processing on it. I'm gonna get the Supermassive preset I used here because it sounds awesome. So that's what we have so far for part 2. Follow me in part 3. I'm going to lay down some more elements and I'm going to progress on the track.
And that's it for this video. 2 more elements that we added. And you can see that the track is taking shape. And also, we have some nice source by the Microfreak, but processing is important, both in efficient ways and creative ways. In this video, I used the Kilohertz Convolver, which is a convolution plugin. And I used some presets called Eternia, and they are free. The link is in the description. If you have the Kilohertz Convolver, you can get these presets and use them. So if you have questions about stuff that I did in terms of processing in the video, you can leave a comment and ask a question. I can do a video about it. And I'm going to see you inside part 3 as we progress into the track and we make more elements, or in another nice sound design tutorial. Stay tuned. See you soon. Cheers.